When I arrived at the airport for our family vacation, I found myself completely alone. Then I saw the Instagram post that shattered my world. My parents and sister were already in Hawaii with a cruel message that would change everything forever. The fluorescent lights of San Francisco International Airport cast harsh shadows across my face as I checked my watch for the 15th time. 9:30 a.m. They were 30 minutes late, and my family was never late for flights, especially not flights that cost my father $3,000. My name is Jennifer Williams, and at 34, I've built what most would consider a successful life. As a senior biochemist at Genentech, I spend my days pioneering breakthrough treatments that could save millions of lives. My luxury Marina District condo overlooks the bay, my salary exceeds 6 figures, and I have the respect of colleagues who hang on my every word during research presentations. Yet sitting in that airport cafe, clutching a lukewarm lavender honey latte, I felt like a child abandoned at a playground. The irony wasn't lost on me. I was the family's silent backbone, the aunt who never missed a school play, the sister who quietly transferred $500 monthly for my niece and nephew's education, the daughter who showed up to every family gathering with homemade gifts and a smile, even when my contributions went unacknowledged. My family lived in a different world. My parents, Martha and George Williams, ruled from their pristine Presidio Heights mansion like monarchs of manufactured perfection. Mother was a former high school teacher who transformed herself into a social media maven, documenting every moment of her curated life in designer suits and perfectly arranged brunch plates. "Appearances are everything," she'd say, adjusting her Chanel jacket while critiquing someone's choice of handbag at church functions. Father was the intimidating patriarch of Williams Real Estate, pulling in over $300,000 annually and wielding money like a weapon. "Since I'm providing the finances, it's only natural you do as I say," was his favorite phrase, delivered with the cold precision of a business contract. He ruled through financial control, and everyone danced to his tune. Everyone except me. My sister Caroline lived the influencer fantasy in her Victorian Pacific Heights mansion, constantly updating her 20,000 Instagram followers with staged moments of her perfect family life. Her husband Stephen, a middle manager at a tech company, spent more time bonding with his laptop than his children. Their kids, 8-year-old Michael and 6-year-old Emma, were props in Caroline's digital theater, beautiful accessories for manufactured memories. But I knew the truth behind the camera filters. I was there when Michael cried because his parents missed his science fair presentation. I held Emma when she sobbed after her mother skipped another ballet recital to attend a brand collaboration event. I was the one buying groceries for their house when Caroline was too busy staging breakfast photos to notice they were out of milk. The boarding announcement crackled through the terminal speakers. Hawaiian Airlines Flight 123 to Honolulu, now boarding first-class passengers. My heart hammered as I frantically dialed Caroline's number again. Straight to voicemail. Mother's phone, voicemail. Father's, voicemail. Then my phone buzzed with a notification that would forever split my life into before and after. The Instagram post appeared like a digital slap across my face. There was my family, all of them, poolside at the Royal Hawaiian Hotel, cocktails in hand, designer sunglasses glinting in the tropical sun. Michael and Emma wore forced smiles, their eyes hollow in the way children's eyes become when they're performing happiness for adults. The caption read, "Arrived in Hawaii with family. Airplane, hibiscus the start of the best time. Hashtag family vacation, hashtag blessed, hashtag paradise." My hands trembled as I read the accompanying messages. Mother's text arrived first, each word carefully chosen for maximum cruelty. "This trip is for real family only. You probably wouldn't understand, but someone who isn't married and doesn't have children can understand the true meaning of family. It's about time you stopped meddling with other people's children." Caroline's message was worse in its casual dismissiveness. "Please take care of our kids and dog. We'll be back in 2 weeks. Check my Instagram stories. Oh, and there are ingredients the kids like in the fridge, so make sure to cook for them properly. But don't take any photos. It would affect my social media image." Face blowing a kiss. The comments under the post were already multiplying. "What a wonderful family trip. Ideal family life. So envious." Each heart and fire emoji felt like a blade twisting deeper into my chest. I sat frozen in that airport chair, watching planes taxi past the windows while families around me buzzed with vacation excitement. A little girl in a pink dress, Emma's favorite color, tugged her father's hand toward the gate. Her father lifted her onto his shoulders, both of them laughing, and something inside me crystallized into diamond-hard resolve. They thought they could discard me like an old toy. They thought I'd quietly accept my role as the family's unpaid childcare service while they performed happiness for social media. They had no idea what they just unleashed. I stood up, left my untouched latte on the table, and walked toward the airline counter. But I wasn't going home to sulk. I was going to war. The Pacific Heights mansion looked different when I arrived that evening. Less like a home, more like an elaborate movie set. Maria, the housekeeper, met me at the door with apologetic eyes. "Miss Williams, Mrs. Peyton left very suddenly," she said, wringing her hands. "The children, they've been asking." "It's all right, Maria. You can go home. I'll handle everything from here." The sound of small feet thundering down the marble staircase made my heart clench. Michael and Emma appeared at the top of the landing, their faces lighting up with relief before crumbling into confusion. "Aunt Jenny!" Emma flew into my arms, her small body shaking with suppressed sobs. "Why did Mommy and Daddy leave without saying goodbye?" Michael, always the protective older brother, wrapped his arms around both of us. "Are we bad kids, Aunt Jenny? Is that why they didn't want us?" I knelt to their eye level, taking their faces in my hands. The late afternoon light streaming through the stained glass windows painted rainbow patterns across their tear-stained cheeks. "Listen to me very carefully," I said, my voice steady despite the rage burning in my chest. "You are not bad kids. You are not unwanted. You are the most precious, brilliant, wonderful children in the world, and anyone who can't see that is blind." Emma's lower lip quivered. "But Mommy said we were going to build sandcastles. Then we'll build the most magnificent sandcastle San Francisco has ever seen," I promised. "Right here in the backyard. We'll build a whole kingdom." And that's exactly what we did. Over the next 2 weeks, I transformed from aunt to guardian, from visitor to protector. We established routines that my sister's chaotic household had never known. Wake up at 7 a.m. to the smell of real breakfast, not whatever Caroline could photograph quickly. Homemade oatmeal with fresh blueberries, whole wheat toast with apple jam I'd made from scratch. "This tastes like love," Emma said one morning, syrup dripping down her chin. I documented everything. Not for social media, but for justice. Every genuine laugh, every moment of concentration during homework, every time they chose to confide in me instead of calling their parents. I recorded their voices when they felt safe enough to speak truth. "Mommy only smiles when the camera's on," Emma whispered one night as I braided her hair. "Dad promised to come to my science presentation, but he forgot." "Again," Michael said, his voice cracking with 8-year-old heartbreak. I saved every recording, every photo, every school assignment where they wrote about feeling invisible in their own home. The evidence accumulated like sediment in a riverbed, layers of neglect, abandonment, and casual cruelty that would soon shift the landscape of our family forever. Meanwhile, Caroline's Instagram continued its relentless performance. Daily posts from Hawaii showcased quality family time and making memories with my babies, while her actual babies did homework at my kitchen table and asked why Mommy never answered when they called. The breaking point came 3 days before their return. Michael knocked on my bedroom door at midnight, his small frame silhouetted against the hallway light. "Aunt Jenny, I can't sleep." He climbed into bed beside me, his head finding the familiar spot on my shoulder. "I've been thinking," he said quietly. "I wish you were my real mom. You're the only grown-up who really sees me." Those words shattered the last of my restraint. They also crystallized my purpose. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was about rescue. Sunday afternoon, 3 p.m. Hawaiian Airlines Flight 426 arrived exactly on schedule, and I was waiting with 2 children who had spent the morning asking if they could stay hidden in my apartment forever. "We have to face this," I told them as we walked through the terminal. "But remember, you're not alone anymore. Whatever happens, I'm right here." The arrival gate buzzed with typical vacation energy, tired travelers, reunion hugs, the cheerful chaos of people returning to reality. Then my family emerged, and the atmosphere shifted like a storm front moving in. Mother appeared first, draped in a new resort dress and oversized sunglasses, her phone already out to capture her arrival moment. Caroline followed, immediately posing for selfies, her smile so practiced it looked carved into her face. Father pulled his designer suitcase with military precision, while Stephen, predictably, walked with his laptop open, probably answering emails from the airplane. "Oh, children! Mommy's back!" Caroline's voice carried across the terminal as she rushed toward us with open arms. But Michael and Emma didn't run to her. They stepped behind me, their small hands finding mine. Caroline's smile faltered. "What's wrong?" "It's Mommy. Come here. We don't want to go back," Emma said, her voice barely above a whisper but carrying the weight of absolute truth. "We want to live with Aunt Jenny," Michael added, his 8-year-old voice steadier than his mother's. The mask began to crack. Father's face darkened, Mother's mouth opened and closed soundlessly, and Caroline's phone trembled in her hand. "What are you saying?" Caroline's voice rose an octave. "We're your real family. Aren't we? Real family." I repeated the words slowly, letting them hang in the air like a challenge. "Then let's talk about what real family actually means." I pulled out my phone, and the first recording filled the space between us. "Mommy, why didn't you come to my ballet recital? Everyone else's mom was there." Emma's voice, choked with tears from 2 weeks ago. The color drained from Caroline's face. "Dad, I got an excellence award in science. I wanted you to see." Michael's disappointed voice from the school ceremony they'd missed for a client dinner. I played recording after recording while travelers around us began to stop and stare. The contrast was devastating. Their social media performance versus the children's raw honesty about feeling invisible, unwanted, forgotten. "Stop this," Mother hissed, aware that people were now filming with their phones. "This is a family matter." "You're absolutely right," I said calmly. "This is a family matter. That's exactly why we should listen to how the children really feel." I showed the photos then, Caroline's perfectly curated Instagram posts beside the candid shots I'd taken. The difference was stark. Forced smiles versus genuine joy, staged moments versus real connection. "This is what you call real family," I said, gesturing to the Instagram feed. "But this," I held up a photo of Emma laughing while we baked cookies, "is what real family actually looks like." Caroline broke first. "That's not fair. We're good parents. Look at our house, our lives, everything we provide." "When's Michael's birthday?" I interrupted. She blinked. "What?" "Your son's birthday." "When is it?" It's in. Why does that matter?" "What's Emma's favorite book?" "She likes many books." "What's she afraid of at night?" "Stop this." Father's voice boomed across the terminal, but it was too late. The dam had burst. Michael stepped forward, his young voice carrying impossible dignity. "She doesn't know, because she never asks. None of you ask. You don't know that I have nightmares about dinosaurs, because you've never been there when I wake up scared. You don't know that Emma practices ballet moves in her room alone, because you're always too busy to watch." Emma nodded, tears streaming down her face. "Aunt Jenny knows my favorite song, my least favorite vegetable, and exactly how many kisses I need before bed. She knows because she pays attention." The silence that followed was deafening. Around us, the normal chaos of the airport had stilled as strangers became unwilling witnesses to a family's moment of reckoning. Father was the first to break. His intimidating posture crumbled as he knelt down to the children's level. What have we done?" Mother's carefully applied makeup began to run as tears she'd held back for years finally fell. "We were so focused on looking like the perfect family that we forgot to actually be one." Caroline sank into a nearby chair, her phone forgotten on the floor. "I thought if I could make everything look beautiful, it would become beautiful. But I was just performing." Stephen finally looked up from his laptop, really seeing his children for perhaps the first time in months. "I'm sorry," he whispered. "I'm so sorry." The children's response surprised everyone. Instead of anger or triumph, they showed the kind of grace that only innocent hearts can offer. "We still love you," Emma said quietly. "We just want you to love us back. Really love us, not just for pictures." "Can we try again?" Michael asked. "Can we be a real family this time?" That confrontation in the airport changed everything, but not in the dramatic, instantaneous way movies suggest. Real change is messy, slower, more fragile than that. It requires daily choices, constant vigilance, and the kind of courage that shows up in small moments. A year later, we gathered in the courtyard of First Presbyterian Church after Sunday service. The autumn light painted everything golden, and for the first time in my adult life, I looked around at my family and felt genuine contentment. Emma was showing off her new leotard to Mother, who listened with rapt attention instead of checking her phone. "Grandma, do you really promise you'll come to my recital this time?" "I'll be in the front row," Mother said, her voice thick with emotion. "I promise I'll never miss another important moment." The changes had been profound but hard one. My parents started therapy, both individually and as a couple, to address the toxic patterns they'd built over decades. Mother deleted most of her social media accounts and began volunteering at the children's school instead of performing parenthood online. Father transformed his relationship with money from a weapon into a tool for connection. He funded Michael's telescope and Emma's advanced ballet classes, but more importantly, he funded time, adjusting his work schedule to attend every school event, every game, every moment that mattered. Caroline's transformation was the most dramatic. Her follower count plummeted when she stopped posting staged family content, but she didn't seem to care. She discovered that real joy, the kind that doesn't photograph well but feels like sunshine in your chest, was worth more than digital validation. Stephen learned to close his laptop during family time, and the children began to trust that when they spoke, he would listen. The custody arrangement we'd worked out was unconventional but perfect for our family. The children spent weekdays with their parents and weekends with me, ensuring they had both stability and the kind of attention they'd been craving. We shared educational decisions, and for the first time, the financial burden was distributed fairly among all the adults who loved them. "Aunt Jenny," Michael said, running up with a science test marked with a perfect score. "I used that study method you taught me." "That's wonderful," Father said, beaming with genuine pride. "This weekend, why don't we visit the new dinosaur exhibit at the Academy of Sciences?" The boy's face lit up with pure joy, the kind that can't be staged or filtered, only felt. We instituted family meetings on the last Sunday of each month, where everyone, including the children, had an equal voice in decisions. It was democracy in action, messy and imperfect but real. "Where should we go for our next family vacation?" Father asked during our most recent meeting. "How about Hawaii again?" Michael suggested shyly. The silence that followed lasted only a heartbeat before Caroline spoke. "I'd like that. But this time, we leave the cameras at home and just be present." "I want to see the volcano observatory," Michael added. "And I want to visit the Hawaii branch of my ballet school," Emma chimed in. "Those are perfect ideas," I said and meant it. Looking back, that confrontation at the airport became an internet sensation. Viral videos of a family's public reckoning that spawned countless think pieces about performative parenting and social media authenticity. Caroline's influencer career never recovered, and Mother's church friends whispered about the scandal for months. But we didn't care about the outside noise anymore. We'd found something more valuable than reputation or follower counts or perfectly curated lives. We'd found each other. As the church bells chimed in the autumn air, we gathered on the front steps for a family photo. But this time, there were no forced smiles or strategic poses. Emma squeezed my hand while Michael leaned against Father's shoulder, reading from his dinosaur book. Mother and Caroline stood close together, their smiles natural and unguarded. Stephen kept his phone in his pocket, his full attention on the moment. The photographer, a church volunteer, not a professional hired for social media content, captured something beautiful, a family that had been broken and rebuilt, imperfect but genuine, scarred but healing. "We found our happiness, didn't we, Aunt Jenny?" Emma looked up at me with eyes that sparkled with real joy. I stroked her hair gently. "Yes, sweetheart. We all found our way back to what matters." The scent of roses from the church garden drifted on the autumn breeze, carrying with it the promise of new beginnings. We weren't the perfect family from Caroline's old Instagram posts. We were something better, we were real. And in the end, that made all the difference.